All right, good morning to you out there. Hope all is well. Another time for catching up with Tommy Mac Podcast on 1010XL's podcast platform and on Facebook Live. We'll take this edition and share it all over the platform, so stay tuned for that. If you don't catch it live, I am on location, of course, and not in the 1010XL studios, down in Isle Morada for a quick trip, coming back home tomorrow afternoon. But of course, wanted to jump on, and man, lots to get into on catching up with Tommy Mac. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac, a great group of businesses that I personally endorse on these shows, all over social media and in the streets, because people ask me all the time about so-and-so's business. I said, well, let me connect you. Next thing you know, you have a new customer, no doubt about that. So today's theme is to pay or not to pay. And I'm not talking about a hairpiece here. I'm talking about dollars, man. Big, big money that is happening all across the National Football League, especially with quarterbacks. Jared Goff, what a cool story for him, right? Gets ousted in L.A. Him and Stafford switch. He has great success. So does Stafford. And now look at him, $171 million in guarantees for Jared Goff. So fantastic for him. Good luck to them, I guess, except when they play our team. So to pay or not to pay. We'll talk about that with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's getting paid. And I almost feel like you have to. Like, you almost have to now. You know, he's the number one pick in the draft. If you don't pay him, what are you saying? You're saying something. You're saying like, maybe not, maybe so. But at the end of the day, you're going to pay him because you're forced to pretty much pay him. Now, am I paying him huge? I saw over on the Twitterverse, someone wants to make him the highest paid QB. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Of course, the young man is got a lot of talent. We got to see more. I'm not paying him as a top QB, but it's not my money. So I hope he gets as much money as he human possibly can, and hold on to that money as best you can, because you're going to need it down the road. No question about that. But then we'll get into that. We'll talk a little bit about the NFL schedule slowly coming out. You see who's on the first Monday night matchup? Yeah, you telling me Aaron Rodgers has no clout? You're out of your freaking mind. Missed all of last year with the Achilles tendon tear, first game, of course, and now back. They added talent on the offensive line, added talent also elsewhere, but star power gets you star audience. It's just the way it works. How many games will our Jaguars get in prime time? I'm not sure. I'm going to guess one. Maybe two. Keep in mind, last year, against the top five, right? The big games on national TV, one in London, of course. We went 1-4. That's not good, and the NFL doesn't want to see that. Now, granted, gave a hell of a game on Cincinnati. No doubt. Cincinnati game was absolutely phenomenal. Our young QB was phenomenal. Of course, the ankle injury happened at towards the end of that game. But we'll get into that. We got some news and notes. Detroit Lions making moves, I said. Antoine Winfield getting paid. The Buffalo Bills adding to their wide receiving core. And we'll also get into a quote from Doug Peterson that I saw on Jaguars.com that I found very interesting. And, of course, look, we've hit reset. But some of the comments that he makes, I sit there and I'm like, man, what? I don't know. We'll go through it, though, today right here at Catching Up with Tommy Mac from the Keys, the Florida Keys. I tell you what, if you've never been down here, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Our really, really long-time good friends, the Bruss, invite us to a house they rent right off the canal. You can see the canal right there. We're going to do a little fishing later, I think. But yeah, it's great getting to see our friends, the Sandifords, who are down here. We're all a bunch of good old friends, and we have a good old time. And we're doing that here. Short trip for us, but still a great, great trip if you've never been down. Of course, rookie minicamp happened last week all around the league. And they'll get into more of the off-season. And it doesn't look like they'll go against each other out there in Jaguar land, but they will work on their craft on the field, and that's a very, very good thing. Why am I wearing sunglasses? Because I'm in vacation mode. Why am I wearing this badass hat? Because Steve Griffin, our GM at 1010XL, gave it to me. That's why. For the record, I mean, it's on the last ring. It barely fits. It's amazing, these things. I tell you what, could someone just make me a custom hat that fits my fat melon? That would be a great thing for me, no question about that. I got a million of these hats in my closet that are on that last string. Maybe I just need a little extender, maybe just a little tiny extender. So, look, Jared Goff gets paid. How about this? The Detroit Lions have spent $444 million in guaranteed money this offseason on Jared Goff, on Penei Sewell, their awesome tackle, and Amon St. Brown, who's a great wide receiver, has been. $444 million in guaranteed money. You tell me these owners aren't making money? You're out of your mind. They are making money. Sam and Fizz. Good morning to you, Jimmy. Hope you're doing well, pal. Thanks for tuning in. They are making a shit ton of money. That's for sure. But you think about the contract situation. Look, Trevor, I know there's a lot of people out there. He shouldn't. At the end of the day, he's in a great position, in my opinion. Trevor is, because they kind of have to pay him. Because if you don't pay him, you're saying, well, we're not real that sure. You know what I mean? And that's what goes along with it. And you're just going to have to eat it if it doesn't work out. And I believe it's going to work out. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. But it's almost like the stadium deal. Like, Shad Khan has no choice but to have a new stadium. He has to get a new stadium. All the other owners have a new stadium. And they're getting all this sweet money, and it's these massive things, and he's got to keep up. He's got to do it. And then you come to your quarterback, but what do you mean you're not extending your quarterback? Why wouldn't you extend him? Well, you don't have to make him the highest paid, but why wouldn't you give him big money? You don't believe in him? Right? They do. They better. I mean, the money's so big today, and I'm not trying to sound like an old curmudgeon. They get, which is great. Hey, my pension goes up, so I'm happy. But it's just, you just throw it away, like whatever. You know what? Okay, I don't know. Look at Atlanta. They pay Kirk Cousins $180 million in guaranteed money. Then they draft a young kid out of Washington. They're only going to have to pay him about $20. That's $200 million in two quarterbacks. You know what I mean? At least over a period of time. And you're sitting there going, well, okay, what if Cousins doesn't work out? What if whatever? What the owner's sitting? They must be sitting there going, well, no big deal. What, $180 million? So what? We'll write it off. We'll get a little bit back. I don't know how that shit works, but they got to be comfortable with giving this kind of money. I mean, you think of Jared Goff, $171 million of guaranteed money. I was just telling his story inside how and I start with the way his story. They switch with Stafford and yada yada, and now look at $171 million in guaranteed money. What a great lesson for everybody out there, man. Hey, you never know. Just because something happens in your life, that doesn't mean it's over. Like, maybe let's see what happens, and I'll look at him. But where do you put Jared Goff in the top QBs in the game today? I like him. I do like him. By the way, the former number one pick overall years ago. He's big arm, can move enough, can run an offense. But where do you put him? He $171 million. I think it's top 6 or 7 or whatever that is. Is he a top 6 or 7 quarterback? And the answer is no. And guess what? It doesn't matter, because the market is whatever the market is, and whatever these guys can get, they're going to get. And if they don't work out, the owner will just eat it, and we'll carry on. We're still going up. Everything's going up. I mean, the values of our stadiums are going up. Values of our teams are going up. Everything's going up until it doesn't. But I don't see that happening forever. I don't think. Right? So you take that gamble. So, again, back to Trevor. He's in a great position, in my opinion. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, stick to your guns, kid. Stick to your guns. Get as much as you can. Whether you, I don't even know if deserves the answer anymore. I mean, he hasn't done anything to say you deserve it enough, right? I mean, he hasn't. And I know there's plenty of people out there that listen to the show and at Jaguar Lane. God love you. You love your QB, and you should. And you think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he can do no wrong, and you make every excuse for him humanly possible to protect him, and that's fine. I don't do that. I would never do that. I think he's shown some really great things, and I think he's shown some really poor things, and those poor things have got to get better in order for me to sit there and be like, yeah, pay that guy as much as he wants. I'm not there, and if you are, that's fine. You see things a little bit different. Look, you can make an argument for the supporting cast not stepping up. I get it. Now, here's a thought, 30,000 feet. What do great quarterbacks do? They make their team better. It's not the other way around. Great quarterbacks make their team better. I'm not saying he's not great. I don't think he's played great. I think he's played great at times. I tell you what, 2022, that mid-year through up until, he was up and down in the beginning of the year last year, but a really good run in 2022. 2023, he was playing good football before the ankle injury. Knee to ankle, he played some really good football. He did. Everyone talks, the knee. I don't think factored into him. He played fine right from the get-go, starting in New Orleans on Thursday when he heard it on a Sunday. So he and then in between, he actually, go look at it. I checked it out. And then, of course, you watched it, so did I. But he actually played pretty good football. Then the injury happened. So the point is, look, the Jaguars, and we all got to forget about the money's it's the market. I mean, Antoine Winfield Jr., who's a phenomenal safety, getting $45 million in guaranteed money. $45 million. That is fantastic. Good for the young man. I mean, you're talking about, when does that contract end? I may retire. You know what I mean? I mean that that is happening too. Guys leaving the game early. I've got enough money. Now, if you don't, not everyone does it for the money. We do it for the glory. Do it for the accomplishment. Do it for the just the awesomeness of playing in the NFL and trying to win a title. But $45 million in guaranteed money. Jared Goff, $171 million in guaranteed money. It's great, and everything's going up in revenue. So good for the players getting it. They fought for it in the collective bargaining agreement, and they're getting it, and they deserve it. You know what? I say maybe they don't deserve it by their play on the field, but compared to what the owners make, they deserve every dollar that they get, in my opinion. But we'll see where it comes in. It looks like Tua and Trevor, the last two QBs that you would extend. And again, I hope he gets all the dollars he can get. I think he's in a great spot. I think if you don't extend him, you kind of have egg on your face. You're sending something out there saying, I don't know yet, right? I got to see more. And just me personally, I'm not giving him the money. I'd like to see more. I would, and I'd give him more. For the record, I mean, if he shows out next year and carries his team to even deep in the playoffs, I think they'll get to the playoffs if they can stay healthy and all works out. But if he takes them deep in, I'm like, yeah, make him the highest paid of all time. Absolutely. But I wouldn't do that today. But again, I don't think you can, not across the board. Mahomes, maybe, he's probably underpaid. But I don't think for every quarterback you can say, okay, he's worth that. Like, he's shown that. Like, Jared Goff is a very good quarterback. There's no doubt about it. Is he top 6? No, but he's going to get paid top 6 or 7. You see what I'm saying? Like, so just because, I mean, Trevor, based on last year, is middle of the road. He's like 15th ranked, top 15. Now, you guys out, no, he's not. No, based on what we saw last year and how he played overall, take everything, throw it into the pot, injuries, everything, him being off. Wait till I read you this quote from Doug Peterson. I found it very interesting. I don't think it really means anything, but man, the way it comes out just sounds, I don't know, a little bit interesting. But at the end of the day, I think if you don't pay him, if you don't extend him this offseason because everybody else is, I think you kind of have egg on your face. You're saying, well, I know he's the number 1 QB taken overall, but, I'm not going to be able to extend him at this time. Everyone's going to raise an eyebrow. But what are you talking about? What do you mean? It will. It'll send a wave through it. So I do believe he will get paid. Javon Foster signs his rookie deal. Congrats to the young man. That is fantastic. Living the dream. Hey, could he be a tackle that gets playing time right away? He might be able to. I know there's been a lot of talk last week. I've been talking about it, the old line. I wish they would have done more, but now that they're here, let's see them battle it out. Let's see if they're going to be physical. Part of the quote from Doug, I'll get to in just a minute. But, maybe Javon Foster has a chance. Everyone's like, he's a swing. Nobody knows shit until they get in pads, okay? And even with pads, you're not going to know until you get into the games. And right now, you know who the 5 guys are based on their money, based on the contract. I mean, you're not sitting Ezra. You're not sitting Brandon. It's not happening, right? It's not. You're not sitting Anton. He's too good anyway. You wouldn't. Cam comes back healthy, he's your guy. It's $16 million or whatever he's getting paid this year. That's your O-line. But can he break that lineup at some point? Hopefully he's just ready to go. And hopefully he'll be ready. They say a lot of great things about him, and maybe that'll be that'll be a good thing that he can get in the lineup and show what he's got, show what he's worth, and help this offensive line be a badass motherfucking offensive line. Excuse me for the language. I'm on vacation again, but seriously, that's the energy, man. That's the your entire, the way your team is built is how your offensive line plays. So I know what they're going in with. We'll see what happens towards the end of the of preseason and getting into the regular season. I think you're going to see those 5 guys unless it's an injury. But Javon Foster ready to go. We'll see how he looks in camp. We'll see how they do anything in camp. Also around the league, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, of course, 2-time Super Bowl champion from the Chiefs. Looks like he is going to be signing with the Bills. Gabe Davis out. Stephon Diggs out. In are Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakur, Chase Claypool. If they get anything lit onto that kid, and Keon Coleman. They have to build around Keon Coleman. You can't stick him out there as your X and expect him to have a tremendous amount of success, in my opinion. I want some speed. Put him in a slot. I'd like to see someone try to cover that guy in the slot. Typically we think of smaller guys in the slot. You put a big guy in there that can move like him, that can shake and bake like him, that can take it. I don't care what the 40 time was. He'll take it to the house, and nobody will catch him. Unless somebody runs a 4.3 out there. That's close. But for the most part, they won't. They won't catch him whatsoever. And you got Mark MVS. He's got your speed now. We'll see. Look, Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills quarterback, a lot to prove this year. A lot to prove. He's already been paid, so let's be honest. But now it's time for him to, show up. Look, man, you want to be considered one of the best. You got to win in the playoffs. You got to get to the NFC Championship game. You got to get to the Super Bowl if you're going to be that guy. And we'll see if he will. Obviously, talent, he's phenomenal. No doubt about that. All right, today's show brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Each and every week, a great group of businesses that are there for you when you need them. And you may not need them today. Maybe you don't need carpet right now. Maybe you don't need new tile or hardwood floors. Well, you do know when you do need that, you're going to go to Carpet Man Flooring. Why? Highest quality at the lowest prices, and they do it right. 2 great locations, Orange Park, and, of course, on St. John's Bluff Road. If you get thrown in the clink, I don't want you to get thrown in jail. Who wants to go to jail? Nobody. But if you do, you get thrown in the clink, my man Chris Lucero gets you out in a blink. No question about that. Him and his team been doing it for a long time. The number 1 name in the bail game, 904-822-2245. Plug it into your phone. Listen, he helped my family out probably a year ago. Under the radar. Nobody knew nothing. Great. Well, other than me saying something, but no particulars, of course. But he did. In a dark moment, shining light came in. Boom. Everybody happy. Everybody gets taken care of with Chris Lucero's Graffiti Burger Bar right there in Jack's Beach, man. Home of 904 Pro Show. Let me tell you the lineup I got scheduled, all right? Moving forward, I got Coach Tom Coughlin. I got Jim Furyk. I got Brett Myers. I've got Marcus Stroud, and I've got Austin Lane. All right, that's just 5 of the guests that we're going to have in Season 2, the 904 Pro Show, all over YouTube, all over, go to @904 Show, all over the social media world. We're going to get them. May put it on TV with these guests. I'm telling you right now. And I'm looking for a title sponsor. Anybody out there wants to be a part of it, we'll get it on TV for sure. But what a great lineup, telling stories. Last week was Gerald Ingram, like I mentioned, 2-time Super Bowl winning coach for the New York Giants, was at BC, was with the Jags, and then the Giants, of course, lives in the great city of Jacksonville, like most of us do. Michael Nickus' State Farm Agency. I've been a customer of his for 20 years. You should give him a try, too. Home, life, auto, and supplemental health. I tell you, him and his team, anytime you need something, they're there for you. Anytime you need a new quote, you need new coverage, you want to take a look and get assessed and see where you're at, you need some life insurance, whatever. Michael Nickus, State Farm Agency, will help you out. Family Tradition Specialty Foods. They're home of the Coconut Joe's hot sauces. I tell you what, mango, phenomenal. phenomenal. The others are great as well. You got a little jalapeno, and the sriracha's absolutely ridiculous. Go to Family Traditions SpecialtyFoods.com. We're working on getting them in other places as well. Azar Sausage Company, the best sausage you've ever had in your life. I share it with all my friends. They love it. Everybody loves it. You get the hot, you get the mild, you name it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Get them at Winn-Dixie and at your local grocers. Code Ninjas, great place to throw your kids in camp. Hey, we know when they're little, you want to get rid of them for a week and during the summertime. I get it. You're at work, you got stuff to do. Throw the kids into a camp. Well, throw them into the Code Ninjas camp because not only are they going to learn little Roblox, 3D, security. They're going to be building games, Fortnite, all that kind of stuff. They're going to go outside and get some exercise. It's a well-rounded camp, right? So we're not going to just sit there playing video games all day because we bitch and moan at them for doing that all day. We're going to let them do it for a little bit and then get their ass outside, move them around, get them shaking and baking. We're going to feed them, take care of them. Check it out at CodeNinjas.com. Of course, Salt, Air, Inn, and Suites. You want to stay near the beach? Go to my friend Kurt's Boutique Hotel with concierge service, man. It's absolutely phenomenal. 4 blocks from Atlantic Beach on Atlantic Boulevard, and you can thank me later. It's a great place to stay, whether you're hanging out or, doing some one-night getaway. If you live in town, go to the beach for a night or a weekend. Or you're out of town, you want a place. The gem is Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, and Jax Beach. No question about that. Adaptive Jax is my official marketing and branding partner, and they do a fantastic job. Go check them out at AdaptiveJax.com just to look at all the cool shit they're doing. It's absolutely incredible, and good people. All these people are good people. Jalaram Hotels will wrap it up. If you're traveling, if you want to stay at some cool places in St. Augustine, you want to go to the I-95 and Butler corridor, maybe you're traveling up and down I-95, great places to stay, family owned and operated. They got a ton of hotels in St. Aug and in Jacksonville. Go to JalaramHotels.com. All right, so let's get into, I think I did mention Rodgers and Brock Purdy will go at a first Monday night game. Thursday night is the Ravens and Chiefs, a remake of the AFC Championship game, big time. We'll see the rest of the schedule. How many games do you think? I see some people on here. If you want to comment, please do. How many games do you think our Jags will be on national TV? Now this one you could say deserve, right? Deserve. So, again, last year on national TV, they went 1-4. The NFL thinks about that. Now, they love Trevor, right? But they don't want to put Trevor out there if there's a stinker coming. They want him like he's playing in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Where it's a big, battle, and he's playing fantastic, that kind of stuff. And he can get there, no question about it. But I think 1 or 2. I think 1 or 2. What does Don say? Don says 3. Wow, Don, 3. Okay. I mean, look, the more the better. Just let's win. Got to win on those national games, especially. Especially got to win when you're playing on the national spotlight because everybody's looking for you, man. Everybody's after. I know the tan. I know it's crazy down here in the Keys. If you didn't catch it earlier, I know my friend Mark Broughton. He loves it down here. We're in Almirada, Mark, for a couple days longer. Until tomorrow. Just had a wonderful time. Wonderful time. It's a beautiful place. It's wild when you're out there in the bay or the ocean. You just feel like you're at the end of the earth, man. It's just absolutely spectacular. So 3 games, says Don. I'd say 2 probably. I don't think any Monday night either. I don't. Look, you gotta earn those things, man. You gotta look, and maybe you don't. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Monday Night Football. Jets stunk last year. He was out after the 4th play of the year, of course, so that factored in. But think of that star power for Aaron Rodgers. Think of that, man. That's just absolutely incredible. First game out, who do we want to see? Hey, NFL, who do we want to see? Aaron Rodgers. Really, Aaron Rodgers? I wonder if anybody's like, Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, maybe so. Look, I mean, they've added talent on the offensive line. Tyron Smith, Moses, the other tackle. They beefed up their old line. They've drafted well. They got weapons. I mean, Bryce Hall's a great running back. They got enough on defense. They've got Sauce and others, no doubt. But that can he make that? That's a QB. Can we agree on that carries his team? So you feel confident in that? Now, if you have the same confidence in Trevor, that's great, man. God bless you. I would not. I don't have that. But with Rodgers, you sit there and be like, well, yeah, he's proven it. And he'll show it again. He does it all the time when he's healthy, right? So that's why he's got star power. I think Trevor's burning. You know, it's lit. If he has a big year this year, he's going to be the darling of the league. He will. Are you kidding me? They're going to love that long hair. You know, good-looking guy. Got a nice looking wife who they seem nice and friendly and cool and kind from what you gather. You know what I mean? He'll be the darling. He puts it. Look, we know this about Trevor. He's tough as nails. Tough as nails. And I love that about him. And he handles the media great. And look, God bless our media. Sometimes a little podunk. You know, sometimes it's a little, you know, just trying to be your friend, trying to kiss your ass and kiss the ring so you'll talk to me. I can't stand that stuff. I'm not going to ever be that way. That's why I don't really try to get personal with the relationships. It's because I got to tell it like it is. I can't be persuaded. I can't be, you know, I'm not saying other people are. I'm just saying for me, you know, I can't be that way. I'm just going to give it to you straight every single time. All right, so let's get into a quote from Doug Peterson I found on Jaguars.com. Good morning, Double D. My man Donovan Darius checking it out. Total beast. Love playing. I didn't play with him long enough. I got hurt, unfortunately, but he had a great career. Donovan, if you're still listening, tell me how many games you think the Jags would get on primetime in 2024. You know, I wonder, back to Antoine Winfield. What's up, my man? Great to have you on. Back to Antoine Winfield getting $45 million in guaranteed. Do you guys automatically, like the fans, do they automatically sit there and like, oh, well, Cisco, right? Donovan says 3-2. Okay, I can buy into 3. 3 would be great. 3's better than 2. Be interesting. You think Monday night, Double D? I don't think Monday night, but whatever. Hopefully I'm wrong and we get our young buck out there. But with Antoine Winfield, you think, oh, well, Cisco's next, you know, like we do in the quarterback world. That is definitely interesting. But let me read you this quote, and we'll wrap up the show. It'll take a little while to wrap it up, and I appreciate everybody being on here. And there you go. Don says smart, man. That's great. Fantastic. All right, here's a quote from Doug Peterson I got on Jaguars.com. And I want you to listen to it. It's a little long, but I want you to listen to it. All right, I'm going to try to keep the emotion out of it, right? I'll just read it. All right, and I quote, I kind of chuckle when people say, be more physical. We play football. It's a physical sport. It's how we teach our players. Maybe you can help them be more physical, just like you can help a QB be more accurate with his throws. It's a matter of just doing it. We've gotten bigger and a tick faster. Then we put on the pads in July and August, and we'll see where we are at physically. All right, let's start with the latter part of that. To me, that means we're going to see a physical camp. And we have to see a physical camp. And I know the balance. You got to have balance with the injuries and all that. I get that. There's no question about that. You got to factor that in. But you don't have to tackle to the ground, and you don't have to be full speed. But you got to thud, in my opinion, especially in 9 and 7, especially in the run drill. It gets very physical. It gets hot. You know, the tempers flare. It's good for your team. You don't have to do it all day long. You just got to do it at least once a practice, and they only practice once. So maybe he's thinking that. And I hope he is. I went to almost every camp practice last year. Almost every one. A lot of it was boring as shit. I'm telling you, because it took forever to get going. Even when they got going, it wasn't, full speed. It was full speed, but it wasn't like nobody's hitting. There was no violence in the camp at all. None. Maybe against a pad, lineman coming off, but there wasn't. It was like, oh my gosh. And then the last day, they go full speed. I said, man, wait till the last day of pads. I don't know. I think you gotta get used to that bang. You gotta get a little bit, boom, boom, and against each other, and in a competitive way, not just in a drill-like way, like let them win kind of thing. 9 on 7 blitz period should be full speed, not taken to the ground, but full speed. We're thudding, we're whacking each other pretty damn good, and I think this team needs it, in my opinion. So that's the latter part. The first part of it, I kind of chuckle when people say be more physical. Come on, Doug. Seriously? I mean, give me a break. I Everybody knows you weren't physical. Don't give me that. That's the kind of coach speak. I'm like, yeah, don't listen to that. That's ridiculous. And I'm not bagging on. It's not personal. So get your panties out of a wad. I'm not bagging on that. But to say that it's how we teach our players, when, where, how, and when does it ever show? Reggie Barlow on the show. What's up, Reg? How you doing, Coach? Keep kicking that ass, my friend. Great to see you all the time on Facebook and whatnot. But we teach our players. No, you don't. I'm sorry. Even in 2022, the blueprint to beat our team was to out-physical them up front. To out-physical them. You hit them in the mouth and they'll back down. They don't fight back. They're not aggressive. They're not physical. I hope that changes this year. Armstead, I hope, changes it. Darby, Morse, I hope changes it because it's got to change. Maybe the draft picks as well. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Double D, who's an expert on tackling. The guys don't get enough of controlled contact. You're right. I agree. And you can control. Thud controls it. Can you hurt a shoulder? Can you hurt it? You can. But you can also hurt yourself in the weight room. You're also going to hurt yourself lifting too much on the cleans. You know? I mean, I don't know. Squatting too much, benching too much, blow out your tricep, blow out your pec. I mean, you got to do some of it. Now, so I disagree with that. They got to be more physical, but maybe the latter part of the comment or the quote by Doug is saying, I recognize that. I'm not going to throw him under the one thing Doug won't do, and I'm okay. It's okay. You don't throw your team under the bus publicly. You don't throw your staff. You don't throw your players publicly. That's fine. He's protecting his players. That's a great thing to do. Inside closed doors, hopefully it's a different story because they weren't physical, and we all know it. And that kind of stuff does bother me coming from a coach because players will read it, and then you're like, you know, okay, I guess we are physical, even when we're not, you know? Yep. Yeah, thank you, Reg. You're right. With 16 practice squad guys, you can thud more. You're absolutely right, Coach Barlow. I love my teammates. Great to have you guys. We got to get on all together. Hey, let me know when you guys are. Hey, Double D, if you're in town Thursday, and Reg, when you're in town, I want you on me and Bees' show Thursday night. This Thursday night, let me know. I'd love to have you. We're at the Graffiti Burger Bar. It'll be absolutely fantastic. We'll have a great time. Now, okay, so maybe it's going to be more physical. Now, there's a part of the quote in the middle that I save for last because to me, it's a little. I don't know what it is. I feel like it could be a little dig. He's had a couple of them before. But let me just throw this at you. So as he gets done saying, this is how we teach our players, he continues and says, maybe you can help them be more physical, just like you can help a QB be more accurate with his throws. It's a matter of just doing it. Now, I didn't hear him say it, so it's not fair for me because I didn't hear the context, right? I don't want to. But to me, that just seems like, what? Why? You're talking about physicality with your team. You're not talking about your QB being more accurate, which we all know he has to be more accurate. He does, and you can give me percentage all you want. There are way too many throws for the number one pick, for a QB going into his fourth year, that he misses. Too many. You can bitch and moan all you want to me, but I'm telling you right now, whether he sails him over the head or puts him in the wrong spot, we do understand that, right? I know we do. I shouldn't say that. I know we do. Football's not rocket science. Don't let anybody tell you any different. But think about this. When I'm running a slant, and that QB is throwing me the ball, you see my hands here? So I'm running a slant. You're the defense. I'm running a slant. The ball can't be back here. I can't, for me to run my slant and have to either stop or contort my body to make the catch is a shitty throw. I don't care that it's a completion. And that goes into your stat. Well, he completed 65. Yeah, that's a completion, but that's a bad throw. That's not where the ball needs to be. The ball needs to be when I run a slant up here in front. So my guy's catching. Now, he may get tackled, but if he doesn't get tackled, he's got the ball in a forward motion, and he's looking to make a damn play. And there are other throws. There are plenty. Now, he hits some perfect. I know he does. Not consistent enough. But I found it interesting that the head coach would throw Sneak that little sizzle in there, a little dig. Yeah, it's like your QB not making throw. I'm being facetious. But it just seemed odd to me that that would be the case, that he would throw that in there. I don't know. Feels a little weird. Hey, we all know this, at least we've been told, that Doug thinks he can fix the offense. Doug thinks that he can fix this offense, and the defense is going to be handled by Ryan Nielsen, and that's going to be good, and I'm going to fix this offense. We know this. It's a pass-first offense. They have to be on the mark with their passing attack in order for the whole offense to move, for the whole offense to run. Donovan wants to add, throwing in dummies. Yeah, hey, make sure you read the quotes if you want your kids to learn about tackling. Double D's one of the best out there. But anyway, he's had these digs before. So Trev, look, it's just wild. Like, we're talking about accuracy when we're talking about multi-millions of invested dollars in the young man. But Doug thinks he can fix it. So let's hope that he can fix it. And our offense doesn't sputter like it did last year. Like I was saying, it starts with the passing attack. When that starts going down, there is no running attack. Because they're not a ground and pound. They're not. They're a finesse, fool you with the pass, set you up with the run, and all I got to do is get in front of you and make a little crease, and my guy can, sneak through it and make something happen. They're not a run-first offense. I'm not saying that's better or worse, but I do know this. When you shut down the run, that doesn't mean you shut down the pass. When you shut down the pass, you pretty much shut down the run. Does that make sense? Because if I'm not worried about your passing attack, and I think you can only beat me run, I'm just going to beef up my run defense and still cover you down, no problem. So that's their offense. That's the way it is. I know there's a lot of rigmarole out there about who's calling plays. Do you really give a shit? I mean, seriously. Doug should have never said anything publicly. He should have never said anything. Do it quietly. Do it because that's, then everyone jumps on it. Well, who's calling plays? And for the record, okay, I said it last year when it was going on. Everybody wants someone to blame. You want to blame press. You want to blame, sorry if that wind's bothering you. You want to blame press. You want to blame somebody. You don't ever blame the players. I blame the players more than I blame the coaches because we're professionals. And professional football players have to do their freaking job. And their job is to run the right route, to catch the ball when it's thrown to you, and make sure you're doing everything possible to be great. I mean, it's not rocket science like I always say. It's not. You just got to put in the time. And if those guys last year would have converted all the missed plays, just think of them all. There are plenty to choose from. Drop passes, wrong passes, whatever. No running, whatever. Just didn't make the block, right? I remember what game was it? We had two great, passing plays down the field. Then we try to run a reverse, and Tim Jones misses his block. If he makes his block, it's a great play call. Misses his block, so now it's a shitty one, which I kind of tend to agree with. But if he makes his block, it's not. So my point is, everyone bitching about Press Taylor or bitching about the play call, if they would execute, the players execute. I said 50%. How about just a quarter better? You're making more touchdowns, you're moving the ball more, you're scoring more points. You want to blame all this other stuff, blame the players. They may not like you. They are. Players can be very, they can be very testy when you question their game. They can be. And I know a lot of media members, not all, I'm not putting them all, but locally, that's what they're worried about. They don't want the players to not like them. They don't want the coaches to not like them. They don't want them to not be able to get a question in, to get a quote in. But the reality is, you got to give them the truth. And again, when I see that's how we teach our players to be physical, I mean, what world are you living in? You know what I mean? What world are you living in? You're not physical. Maybe you're going to be this year. I hope you are. But last year you weren't. And I'm not saying everybody across the board. Of course there were guys that were physical. But across the board they weren't. Their offensive line and defensive line were not physical enough. Period. And it's got to be better. So maybe they do it in practice. Maybe not. I thought it was interesting. He throws in another dig. It's another dig. Call it what you will. Maybe it's not a dig. Call it what you will. At his QB. It's got to be better. He thinks he can fix it. And I hope that is the case. I want to thank you all for hanging out. I'm live at Almorado, man. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. This is my friend Robbie and Jen. They rent this place. They come down here the month of May. And they invite us every year. So we made a quick trip down Sunday night, did our little Mother's Day, and then hauled ass down here. And it's been great. Been fantastic. Come home tomorrow. I'll be back at it with the Horse's Mouth Thursday night. 9:04 Pro Show. I told you the lineup coming. It's fantastic. And that's at the Graffiti Burger Bar in Jacksonville Beach. Friday, I'll be on the radio, 1010XL, of course. Thank you, Don. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, for Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and Pockets, our producer. And then I'll jump into another Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast. Dad Bods Friday night. It's at a benefit event. If you'd like to come see, you do got to pay a ticket to get it. Not for us. It's to benefit the American Legion down there on Wilderness Drive in Palm Valley. We're going to kick it off, I think, around 7 o'clock. We're going to play for a few hours, so come on out. And, of course, Sunday night and Monday, the J Fund. Always proud to be a part of the J Fund, named after my teammate Jay McGillis. Thank you, Double D. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, Coach Barlow. Thanks to everybody. For Jimmy, thank you so much for being here. Y'all have a blessed day. I hear it's raining up back at home. I'm sorry, it's not here. It's windy today, so no boat riding, but I think we might try a little tarpon fishing. I've never caught a tarpon. I hope these broken biceps will hold up with that big, strong fish. But we shall see. I wish you nothing but the best. Have a great day. Until next time, stay safe, be cool, and we'll see you right here. Catch it up with Tommy Mac. Peace and love, everybody. See you later.